Over the weekend, esports organization Cloud9 announced the formation of Valorant White, an all-women team dedicated to competing in Riot Games' tactical shooter, Valorant. The announcement led to a lot of conversation about women in esports and diversity efforts in the industry. It's time for Erin Ashley Simon to be honest.
All right, everyone, you know what time it is. To be honest, all women's esports teams do not separate women from men. It actually creates more avenues for talent development and emerging players to enter into the scene. And this is a must for the industry to properly grow and prosper. If you follow esports, you'll know that the pathway to pro is something that hasn't been fully established or defined yet. Deegan and I actually discussed this on a previous Outplay segment when it came to North America and how it hasn't established a solid talent development scene for League of Legends competition compared to teams in overseas market. Of course, if you're signed by a major esports organization or league, that's obviously one stepping stone. But what about the amateur scene? What about the college scene? What about other avenues to become pro? Well, I had a chance to chat with Cloud9's Senior General Manager, Galen Malone, about how their new Valorant team is just another stepping stone for the best of the best.
I think that having all women's teams is a good stepping stone for women. It gives them like a goal in mind when it comes to like, okay, I really want to get good at this game and maybe get picked up by an all women's team. And so that's the goal for us, is just funneling all of the resources that Cloud9 offers a normal pro team into this team as well, and seeing what kind of growth we can see from them.
Yes, growth indeed. She also mentioned about having a co-ed team later, but let's keep on track with this team. Kat, Alexis, Mel, Annie, and Jazzy are a few pro players who have taken the next step, but it's also important to note there are many who haven't been able to. Due to PC equipment prices and the internet being the barrier to entry, it makes it more difficult for emerging talent from different backgrounds enter esports. Maybe this is a note from traditional sports book that we can take away. We've seen how professional basketball and other subsidiaries have path to pro to create a more concise talent pool ecosystem. Basketball players can go from AAU to high school basketball to college, or skip to play in the NBA, G League, or overseas. This system has allowed the NBA and other leagues to find talent, develop talent, and keep an incoming flow to truly have the best of the best. Something we really need in esports, and especially in North America. Cloud9's White team, Gen G's all-women's Fortnite team, and even CSGO all-women's competitions are just a part of the overall progress, feeding young talent, especially talented women, into the ever-growing scene. Plus, women are instrumental for esports. Behind the scenes, a lot more than people think. Miss Harvey is a great example of someone who has pro experiences, who's able to work on the business side with knowledge on all fronts, contributing back to the industry. At the end of the day, this move is a snapshot into a bigger problem, a bigger system, and a bigger picture. One that Cloud9's newest pro player, Mel, sees as a historical moment.
With the talent of these girls and like knowing my own work ethic, I literally thought to myself, like, wait, this could be like a huge moment. Like this could be like groundbreaking if I just work on getting myself better and I work on these girls, like we could literally, I know it's super cliche, but we could legit make history.
Make history indeed. Now, after hearing from members of Cloud9, what do you all think? Are all women's teams important for the growth of esports? Chat, let us know. Drop it in our Twitch chat section. And squad, what do you guys think?
I mean, this to me is an absolute yes. I followed the Magic the Gathering pro scene for a long time, and there have been a lot more women and people in the LGBTQI+ community that have joined. And honestly, you can watch the effect happen in real time.
Yes.
A person plays on stream. You see someone come up as a content creator who says, this is my favorite player. The line of inspiration and the line of getting people to be more involved is directly there.
Yeah.
They are role models for so many different people out there where, you know, I grew up, I couldn't play sports. I was not the right build, but I could play something like video games. And being able to see someone that looked like me, had connection to me up there being a pro, that's all I needed.
And that is exactly it. I mean, that is the thing, is by creating space for women, which is what this is doing. It is not separating the women from the men, which is like a big argument that people always want to have. All this is doing is creating space for more women players to be there so that women who are not currently in the industry but are aspiring to be so see themselves represented. And it also creates a space for these women to feel supported by other women who are working in their fields. That I will always be a huge advocate for an all women's anything. And I respect and understand that in esports, one of the things that is amazing is that physical doesn't factor into it. And that's not just saying like, oh, women and men, because like in traditional sports, women and men on the professional level do not play together.
Right.
Just because of different physical capabilities. And that doesn't exist in the gaming space, which is amazing, but we still need to create those spaces for women to grow in a way that feels safe for them.
Yeah, and I think, because I spent time with the Golden State Warriors and Golden Guardians building a brand new esports branch of the Golden State Warriors. And at that time, when you're brand new, you're trying to build something up from nothing, right? So you're thinking, hey, how do we be successful? We have this spot on the LCS. It's very important to us. And at that time, it definitely wasn't in my mind. I'll just speak for myself. It wasn't in my mind like, hey, let's build a female esports team. Whereas a brand like Cloud9 and brands like CLG and Dignitas that have been around for a long time have more resources to do so and have the stature to do so, have the backing to do so. And I think now is the time where you can see Jazzy, Jazzykins, the person that we saw in the interview, is 16 years old. She's 16 and the in-game leader for the team. So you can see the generational effect that goes into it when you invest in it. So I'm looking at CLG Red. I'm looking at Dignitas FE. Those are the ones that are leading the way. And so she said in her interview, this could be historic. This could be groundbreaking. I could be inspiring the next generation there. And I think it was a little difficult at first by trying to figure out, can we monetize in esports? Can we survive as a business in esports? And now it feels like the answer is clearly yes. There are teams that can do that. And so the teams that are in those positions now are able to invest into inclusive esports. And it's not worried about winning and losing. It's about saying, hey, we're building the next generation of player regardless of how you identify.
I think it's also important to note too, like it was in the interview, but we didn't add it in. Galen did say that this team will compete in co-ed competition, and eventually they are looking to have co-ed teams as well. So it kind of goes back to what I was saying, how it's not separating the women from the men. It's just creating more opportunities for talent. And these women are talented. Like, winner of the first All Women Ignition Series tournament, Jazzy, Annie, and Mel topping the leaderboard of this competition in terms of KDA. Round of 32 in the First Strike Open Qualifier 1, and Kat was top 100 all of Valorant on the leaderboard that Riot released. So these women are really, really good. And so I'm super excited to see all these opportunities kind of come up, not just for women, but for everyone, especially for underserved communities, low-income communities, et cetera, as we figure out solutions to how do we get more people in, considering PCs and internet is the barrier to entry. I don't have the answer for it, but we'll figure it out. And if anyone wants to catch these ladies in gameplay, the First Strike Open Qualifier 2, you'll be able to watch them, is November 11th to the 15th.
Nice. And of course, I have to give a shout out to my fictional, the first professional esports player I knew that was a woman, Jenny Matrix from Video Game High School, who is now playing a sniper for the Paris Panthers in that universe. But thank you so much for that, Erin. It is time for a break. But when we come back, I want to ask the question, why would anyone bite into an Among Us member? Oh, my goodness. Nom, 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 nom. Rude.
Oh, that guy's definitely the imposter.
Does it taste like red?
Thank you.